Dusty, snap out of it!
Any of this look familiar?
Our constellation contact is on approach.
Yeah, but come on. Exploring space? Who does that anymore? Ain't the space we've already got complicated enough?
Welcome aboard the Starfield Report podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Starfield Report podcast. I am your host, Kenny Smyson, and with me, as always, is Jax. How you doing, Jax?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
And it has been, about a month and a half since we did our last episode. And fun fact, I've hardly played any Starfield in the last month and a half, so some of you following me on my YouTube channel might already have seen this, but I just recently had some new DLC in my life. I have my first son was born, so he was born day after my birthday on October 6th. So that was fun. Wife went into labor, kind of like at early labor stages on the day before my birthday, and then it's pretty slow and ended up having to be a C-section, but baby is doing good. He's healthy, and so future ship captain, aka Vault Dweller, Dragonborn, whatever. I'll make sure to train him in our ways so he's a proper gamer, and
he's going to turn out to be a Sith Lord.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but things are going pretty good.
I am your father.
Yep. So things are going good. I definitely enjoyed my break from gaming. I do this with my hobbies. If I don't take a break, I can burn out. And yep, case in point, all your stuff on your workbench. So it's been good not playing the game. Because, when you're running a show and a podcast and a channel, you always kind of feel obligated. Man, I got to do some content. So I was like, I'm not doing the content. Yeah. I don't care about my views and clicks and new subscribers at this point, But, so we're going to get back into it here.
Yeah. And, every time that we talk, I kind of push you on it. But sorry if I'm pushing you and it makes you feel that way. I don't mean to. I never...
Yep.
Sometimes I have a difficulty putting myself in someone else's situation.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing you too hard.
Have you played yet? Have you played yet? No.
I know. So, you got a new member. There's a lot of adjustment, and so I try not to push that hard.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Even though I wasn't doing any recording, stuff, I had great ideas to get certain things done, kind of background related stuff, and I didn't do squat. So, but we're good to go now.
We're going to work on the quest in Shattered Space. Mm-hmm. We are going to take care of
conflict and conviction.
Conflict and conviction. That's right. So that's one of the houses we've got to go through and handle their personal issues so that they'll help their city.
Yep, that's the plan. And the next episode, I believe, we'll probably record on the 6th. That'll be the final house mission, plus the final mission, and plus talk about the quest in general. And hopefully we will have another guest appearance on that podcast. So we will see when we get to that point. But so I don't have anything new Starfield related to talk about because I haven't played the game. Well, I did log into the game a week ago because I wanted to do that next quest, and I thought I was probably in a place where I would remember where I was at. Because usually when I stop a gaming session, I usually like to get to a distinguishable point, like maybe after I've completed a quest or a part of a quest, I'm outside of a door where it's I have a frame of reference to remember where I was at, what I was doing.
Mhm.
I loaded up my exit save, and my hard save was at the same timestamp, so that wouldn't have helped either. And I'm in the room, and I walk forward, a door opens, and I'm just getting shot at. I'm like, what in the world is that? I had no clue where I was, and I looked at the quest log. It was the House Divided quest. Yeah, somehow I didn't do my usual format of making sure to get to a good spot.
I'm sure that the bacon was burning, or something happened and you had to step away, and I'll get to this. I'll get right back to this, and it just never happened.
Yeah, maybe wife went into labor. I don't know. No, because when
I've got
she went into labor, started having her first signs, I was in bed, so she woke me up to tell me. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning, Saturday morning. But yeah, anyway, so I'd hoped to, start the conflict and conviction quest, but I had to shoot my way out of this place, and then I had to do some inventory management, kind of get my bearings. By the time I was done with that, an hour later, just kind of messing around. Well, it wasn't even that. I something happened, and I had to step away from the computer, so didn't even get the chance
Yeah.
to. But my work schedule also was kind of a little chaotic as I came back to work after having been off paternity, on paternity leave. So when I went back to work, my schedule was a little chaotic, but my schedules should be settling in here in the near future. So
I've got some news, some updated news also.
yep,
So everybody can see right there is my last computer. That is a 20-year-old Mac, all-in-one desktop. So I have been slowly building a new, computer setup. So as you can see, the background has completely changed. I've moved locations in the house. So I'm set up to do PC, Steam, creation kit now. I got a camera, I got microphone, I got everything I need
Mhm.
to do, right? Kenny's teaching me how to use OBS, and start using, what was it? DaVinci Reality?
DaVinci Resolve. Yep.
Resolve for editing. So hopefully that's going to give Kenny a break and allow me to start recording a little bit of side content that we can slide in, and give you guys some, I really enjoy tinkering with mods. And so this way I can slide in a couple of mod reviews of stuff that I'm tinkering with, and we can get that content. And it's, like I say, it'll help Kenny with all the new stuff happening in his life, and I get to play with my new toys. So I'm excited.
Yep.
So shall we get into this?
Indeed, let's do it. Just to kind of bring us up to speed, we're at the point in the Shattered Space quest where we're doing the different house quests. There's the 3 houses. So, which was the one we did with Sawyer? Exhuming the Past and the Zealous Overreach. That was the quest with the Zealots. So now we're doing the quest Conflict and Conviction. And this is with House Vethal. And in this mission, you learn that the leader's son has run away from his duties, leaving his father to label him as a traitor, despite the pleas from the rest of the Vethel family to grant him forgiveness. And
Dad wants him tracked down and killed.
Yeah, he just straight wants to execute him, because that's the law. That's the way it's supposed to happen. Yeah. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go talk to the son's buddies. There's a bar called the Herald's Rest, and you speak to the 3 of them. How did you do speaking with them? Did you have any luck?
So yeah, I walked in and I went straight to the bartender. I said, hey, I'm new in town. Give me a drink. What's going on? I'm looking for this guy. And so she says, I don't know. I can't help you. Right. And I think she kind of points across the bar and says, go down there and talk to that guy. Maybe it was a gal. So you go talk to them, and I think they send you to another person in the bar. And eventually you end up at the other end of the bar talking to some scoundrel looking dude, right?
Yeah.
Or no, a guy walks in. That's right.
Oh yeah, the guy walks in.
Conversation, and a guy walks in.
Tane.
And I think he kind of overhears my conversation and says, hey, maybe I can help you out, right? Isn't that how that went?
Yeah, and he's an outsider that delivers 2
That's Right. He's an
Varun.
outsider like me. And I think that's where you kind of get the kinship that since we're both not of Varun, but kind of allowed,
Yeah.
right? And he's only allowed because they need somebody to move product.
Yeah. Yeah, they need
I can't remember
supplies
what.
brought into the system, so they've kind of, you know, the fact
Yeah,
that
out
we've
of
never
necessity.
heard about that before shows that they're pretty secretive, obviously, in that.
And this guy, yeah, I guess he's
So,
trustworthy because he didn't go blabbing his mouth to UC or anybody.
yep. Which translated actually means they, you know, before the DLC came out, obviously their system, their world is so secretive that they had to come up with a logical explanation as to why we've never been there or heard of it,
Right.
before. Yeah,
It's kind of like they're just not finding another moon for Pluto.
yeah, right. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, being high level and with some of my social skills pretty high, I remember I had a pretty positive experience talking to him with any of the speech checks I might have had and getting information. And of course, eventually, Tane tells you Tane, that's his name, and Varric is the son. So Tane tells us that Varric is off. Yeah, that's right. He gives us a tracker to follow after, a ping. So we have a little ping that we can follow after to get to Varric's location. And you have to
Yeah.
go up and over the canyons and kind of trek along.
Yeah. So now you're out in the wilderness, and I think you run into a few phantoms, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Come
So
across some phantoms, did some little
yeah,
firefights. Those
out in the
creatures that
wilderness.
are pretty. The I always think of like Starship Troopers because they're just very, very like spiky kind of creatures. And eventually you get to a camp at the top of a hill, and the camp just. This was frustrating. I kept walking around trying to find like a like a notepad or tablet or something like that, or
Yeah.
a book or something. But no, there was like it
And it
was.
says, because you get a pop up that says, explore the camp, right?
Mhm.
Examine the camp or explore the camp for clues.
Yeah,
And so you're looking around, like you said, you're looking for a book or a tablet or a notepad or something where he's left every other quest. You find a slate sitting on a table, and then you go, or a computer, and you go and open it up and read the notes, and oh, okay, this is the deal.
exactly. So you're looking around for a computer or something, but what it is all these clues that you can actually interact with. So one of them is the muddy footprints, which says it's near the water
Now,
tank.
there was another quest that we did that was very similar, where it was like a blood splotch here, and
There was the dead guy. I think it's a side quest. There was a dead guy, or no, it might be related to Barrett's personal quest. There's the dead guy in Gargarin.
I
Yeah,
don't know, but I do remember there was
yeah,
this isn't the normal way, but it's not unprecedented because there was other quests, at least
yeah,
one, maybe two, where you just wander around and then finally you see like the ground looks a little bit different color and you wander over to it and says, "Oh, you found a blood stain."
yeah. But then you have to like
So,
have your cursor highlighted over that to on your display, your screen, have the thing pop up saying um, to interact with this clue. And so it would be nice
but
if they had more quests like that, just to keep us keep our brain all aware of that. I
sure,
I don't know what
yeah, it
ratio,
was a
maybe.
little more mechanic. It would be a little
Yeah,
bit more in the foremind
yeah,
when you're
because
playing it. Yeah,
it's
that
it's
makes sense.
definitely south of 5%. It's below 5% of the quests have that feature. If
Mhm.
it's only like 1 or 2%. So then when it happens, we're just so used to playing a certain way of looking for a tablet or a computer. Um,
Right.
so yeah, if they up to like 20% of the quests had some kind of something you'd have to just look for and interact. But
Hmm.
once yeah, because I wandered around for probably 10 or 15 minutes. And I was getting so frustrated because I hate looking things up to find out how to do it. But I had to. So there's the
So,
footprints, the vortex
mhm.
spawn. There's blood
Mhm.
stains
Hmm.
and a tracker. So those are the 4 clues you have to look for.
Right. So mine, I don't know what happened. I had something glitch. I ended up having to reload because the little blue icon that's wherever you're gonna go to
Mhm.
interact, your quest icon,
Yeah.
go over here. It was like in the middle of the camp, but floating. If we'll just say my character's 6 foot tall, it was floating like 8 foot in the air
Okay.
in the center of the camp. And so I'm jumping up, trying to reach it and trying to grab at it and trying to boost back over it and around it and crawling up on there's a big rock formation that goes over the top, and I crawl up on the top of the rock formation, and I
Yeah.
couldn't get the spawn to happen of the phantoms.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that kind of like you say, it took me 10 or 15 minutes before I finally got frustrated and said, okay, let's just reload, come back up because I think I came instead of walking the trail up the front side, I think I came up the back side, and it may not have set the trigger properly. I may have skipped one of the triggers going up the hill.
Oh. Yeah. Did you drop down off of like a rock that was about 20 feet above the camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same
Yeah.
thing.
I
Because,
came up the backside, and then there's this big arch
yeah.
formation over the camp, and I came up over the top and then dropped down into the camp.
Mhm. Same here.
So I probably moved the trigger.
Yeah, it's almost like, hello, Bethesda. We have jetpacks. We're not going to walk around the side of a mountain up the path if we have a jetpack on that allows us to.
Why am I just going to let you ambush me? I like to be the ambusher.
Exactly. Yeah, I always like to scout out my area. Like, if they want me to go up a certain thing, they need to make it, like a canyon that we have to walk in. We can't, like cliffs, so you can't even jetpack up. So,
Right? Yeah. Then they give you a jetpack, and you're like, well, I could just fly over the top. I don't understand why there's even a path.
yeah.
But yeah, it's game design. Okay. Can't think of it. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
End of the day, I reloaded. I lost a few minutes. I came up. I walked up the front side and got the monsters to spawn, killed them, found the tracker, the communicator, right?
Yep.
And then doesn't that end up giving you a slate or something on the communicator that
I think
a
it's
recording?
I think it's the footprints. There's no
Did
recording or
Tane?
any slate or anything. It's just the footprints that tell you like the direction he went, and I think the tracker might. Us
Doesn't Tane come
at
up with
some point
something?
when you no, he's not here, but at some point when you've completed finding all the clues and you battle the vortex spawn, eventually you get a quest marker. It updates that okay, this is where he most likely is, which is a
But
little farm.
before that, we found out at some point after talking to Tane in the bar, and then we get here and look around. We have some kind of revelation, I remember, that says, "Oh, Tane has helped him get away from his family, and
Yeah,
he's given him supplies, and they're supposed to meet up here in order to get him some supplies and help him, you know, get away from his family and settle somewhere else."
I think that's just in the
Like,
conversation with Tane,
okay,
or
I thought that here.
there might be a couple different times when you interact or you find out more about that. Like maybe when you finally meet up with Varric, he tells you more about Tane. Well, yeah, because what the father wants you to do, Victor, he wants you to bring back, I think, the ring, right? The family ring that Varric has.
Yes,
I think that's what
that's
it is.
proof that you
It's
took
proof.
his son out.
Yeah. All right. As you continue to look for Varric, you're told to head up to there's a camp, and it's Irina's camp, and you find her. And he, Varric got injured with the vortex spawn, so he made it to this farm to recover from his injuries. And these people are pretty standoffish. They don't want you in or interacting.
Don't trust you a lot. They don't
Yep.
want to talk to you. Yeah, you're an outsider.
Yep.
So, as usual.
As usual. But, being high level like we are, most people by the time this came out, unless you happen to have you probably already have it's like you already have your social skills high enough, or you have diplomacy and other stuff, to work with.
Big gun. Hey, look, just talk to me.
Yeah, just talk to me. I've got more guns than you do. And
bullets.
Yeah. So then from that farm, you find out that Varric was sent north, and you go to this little dwelling. And I remember,
didn't they? They're what do you call those things? They're groats.
Groats, yeah, they're a little groat
Groats.
farm.
So didn't they tell us at the end, hey, we gave him a couple of groats to get started, and he went off to a farm to the north here or something
Yeah,
like that?
that's what it was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The
They
doesn't.
kind of helps get him set up to get on his way also.
Mhm.
So he's having some, and that's right. She didn't want to say anything because anybody that's involved in helping him escape, we're supposed to put the axe to them too,
True.
right?
Yeah.
Lay down the law. Law says you can't help these people because they're breaking the law. So if you help them,
Yep.
yeah. So she was scared, and we have to promise her we're not going to tell anybody. I promise I won't tell anybody. I won't put your name out there. I won't let anybody know. Then she opens up and says that yeah, I helped him. I gave him some stuff and sent him on his way. So please, and I don't want no trouble.
Which, I mean, my whole approach to the whole thing, which we'll get into more when we get to the end of the quest, is like Dosra just experienced a total catastrophe with the grav drive incident, the destruction of that building, and the huge bubble shield thing there. I'm like, now is not quite the time to be concerned about being super strict to the law, man. Like, chill out. Like, yeah, just probably lost, a good percentage of your population in this experience.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then you get to now Varric's room is where there's a computer that you can look for clues. This is where you come across a computer. This is at the dwelling.
Yep.
Does he?
And he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, nowhere to be found.
But there are some.
Oh, this is where you meet Tane again. You were right. You do, and this is where you talk to him again, and he tells you. This is where he tells you the whole story.
Okay.
Yeah. Tane's talking to you, telling you a little bit more about what's going on. That he was going to help him. He was going to help him actually get off the planet, right? If I remember right. I think so.
Yes. Yeah. That was the
'cause-
kind of the whole deal. He was going to smuggle him out.
Yeah. But then as you're talking to Tane, that's when Varric comes up with a gun on you. Not the wisest decision, but
No.
yeah.
As you stand there in your level 200 Guardian armor,
Yeah.
upgraded guns to the max. Yeah, he wants to pull out a little Eon. I got you. Okay, buddy.
Yeah. So I was able to talk Varric, or I was able to convince Varric that I wasn't going to hurt him. That was pretty easy. But then at that point, it was like, let him go or convince him to go back to talk to his father. And that one, I remember some of my speech challenges on trying to persuade him to go back. Those were challenging ones. I mean, I've got the skill high enough that I think they got through it, but a lot of my speech persuasion challenges, it's like the first one or two, but this one, a couple times, it took like all three chances in the little mini game, and I was a little nervous on it because I didn't want to fail it, but thankfully got through.
Yeah. So this is my second run through of this quest line. The first time I talked with him and convinced him to go back and take responsibility because, like you said, hey, half of your entire community has just been, decimated. You need to go back. It's not about you at this point. This is about your entire community. You're a leader. Your father's a leader. This is going to be your responsibility and your role. You need to, put on your big boy pants and go back and face the consequence. I'll go with you.
Yeah.
And try to work this out. But you can't just run away from your stuff. You need to go back and sometimes you're born with responsibilities. I mean,
yep.
If you're the king's son, you're gonna have responsibilities you may not have wanted, but you got them.
Yep. Well, and if you are going to step away from the responsibilities, you do so you don't do it in the way he was trying to do it. He basically took advantage of the calamity to duck out, like,
right. Yeah, and if it wouldn't have, if it wasn't in the middle of this upheaval of his, community, I wouldn't see such a big deal. of him sitting down with his dad going, hey, I don't want this to be my future. You're going to
Yeah.
have to look at, kind of grooming somebody else to take
Yeah.
the role of leadership. But I don't want this for my future. But right now, like we said just a minute ago, now is not the time.
Exactly.
We can worry
Exactly.
about that later. Let's give us 6 months to get this under control.
Yep.
So yeah, he should not have just snuck out. So I ended up convincing him to go back the first time that I went through this. The second time, I kind of felt, and it was the same character, right? So
Mhm.
it was still Eldon Leroy, I think, at this time.
Oh, just a new universe.
Right. So
Okay.
he's
Okay.
been through this a few times in his
Okay.
whole experience through NG Plus, right?
Yeah.
So from his point of view, you start to understand why the hunter's so calloused because
Yeah.
they do just start to seem like paper mache uh, parts of the background. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Again, I got to convince this kid to go. I don't care, kid. Just give me your ring and move on.
Yeah.
So the second time I did it, I did. I just took his ring. I was like, look, I don't care what you do. I'm not going to say nothing, but give me your ring so I can get your dad off your ass. And we'll go from there.
Yeah. I definitely can see that, you know, part of the hunter as I went through the Unity and was redoing some of the side quests that were faster. I was just from the fact that I'm looking at it and obviously mechanically those quests are the same. You have some dialogue options possibly as a starborn that you can shortcut or skip stuff, but just
Right.
trying to put myself in the mindset of my character, which I'm kind of role playing as myself, a space trucker. I'm like, geez, yeah, this would be tedious. It'd be boring, like especially if you realize it's exactly the same. Now, obviously, in a true multiverse, there would be drastically different stuff, or who knows? Maybe luck of the draw, you go into a universe and it's almost identical.
Well,
Uh,
that's kind of the thing, right? In the multiverse, every single thing every choice that you make splits off to a new
mhm.
universe. Every choice that I make also
Yeah.
splits off to the new universe. Same with my boss, same with the lady at the grocery store, same
Mhm.
with the dude pumping gas.
Yep.
Everything makes a new universe. So there's billions, trillions, infinity, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So at some point, if you're if you're traveling universe to universe, at some point you're just like, what does it really matter? There's millions of them.
Yeah.
What does it matter? Just hose them all down. Get to the objective.
Hmm. Yeah. I
So
can.
yeah, see becoming the hunter very easily at that point. The first time you play through this game, you don't see that.
Yeah.
About the third or fourth new game plus trip through, you're like, oh yeah, you're right. I've become very jaded and calloused against any of this.
Yeah. But the problem with the hunter though is he reached the point where he was willing to kill like innocent people, like, and
Yeah,
that's
it's
and
another
that's
universe. They're infinite.
what's that?
What does it matter? It's just another universe. They're infinite.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at it that way. But
That's my point. That's how you
yeah,
become that way.
yeah, that's the thought process the hunter clearly went through. Especially because I mean, spoiler alert, we've already covered it, but it's Keeper Aquinas. A multiverse version of him that in your first universe, I don't think we ever completely settled on if he had been the hunter or not and was retired, or if it was just, your universe, the Keeper Aquinas was one who just hadn't walked that path and had yet to become, or just maybe made different life choices and never became the hunter. But yeah, he's a pretty compassionate guy, like reasonable, like you wouldn't see him being a guy who would just kill people, at least
Yeah,
not in his present state.
right.
All right, so now I convinced Varric to go back to face the consequences, and that's what you did on your first universe as well.
Yep.
Okay, but this time you just gave him the ring.
I just took his ring and said,
Okay,
go do whatever you're gonna do.
okay.
Raise your bro.
So in your first universe, then, when you get back to Victor, were you able
Mhm.
to convince Victor to let the son Like,
I was.
okay, yeah, same here.
Rejoined the family. Yep,
Yeah.
rejoined the family, and he accepted his son back into the fold, and yeah.
Now,
But this
the thought occurred to me.
the is it the
Most people,
sister or the aunt?
what's that?
There's a sister or an aunt that's also really distressed. When I came back this time, that I had the ring, she was super distressed
Oh,
that the
because she
nephew was
thought he was
gone.
dead. The
Yeah.
game give you a chance to tell her the truth, like on the side, like, hey, come over here, let me tell you.
Since I don't specifically remember that, I don't think so.
Oh man, that's pretty brutal. So now,
Right.
yeah,
She's got to live her life thinking that her nephew's dead.
yeah, that's pretty rough. How did Victor
Yeah.
take it when he thought his son
Um,
was executed?
he accepted that it was law. His whole thing is this is the law.
Yeah,
I uphold the law, and I can't hold my family members in a special place.
yeah,
So this is the law. This is the way it has to be. When it happened that way, he's like, well, this is the law, and this is the way I had to go. So now we need to concentrate on the Citadel.
yeah,
And then he just kind of gives you here's the stuff, move on.
yeah. That's pretty much how it happened for me on my first, or well, so your first universe, my first time playing through this quest. Um, the thought did occur to me, like, I wonder how many people brought, because usually if you want to be nice and just keep it simple, you take the ring, you ship him out, you had to take the ring back, because that way you're guaranteed that the son is going to get away at that point, or more
Right.
guaranteed. Because for all we know, they could have just written it into the story that you can't save him if you were taken back, that he does get executed, and it's
Yeah.
written
And
in.
that was the gamble the first time I went through, and this time your first time. But that's the
Yeah,
gamble you're taking. Hey, I'm a lawful person. I've made a promise. So I can't just kill this guy in cold blood. But what I can do is I can bring him back and I can give the two of them an opportunity to work it out.
yeah,
You said that's no guarantee that it will. At that point, you don't know because it's the first time you played through.
yep. Now, I wonder if there's been players that take the son back and then agree to have him executed. I mean, but that's like that's like
There
that's
is,
like a Pharisee level right there. Like the Pharisee's just religious zealot that just wants,
right?
super everything by the book.
Pilot, take him.
Yeah, exactly. So, uh, but
I
regardless,
wonder.
what's
I
that?
didn't ever try. I'm sure you could, but I haven't tried. When he shows up and says, "Ha ha," you're at the Groot farm, and he, kind of gets the drop on you.
Yeah.
Wonder what happens if you just like, okay, here we go.
Oh, just hose him.
And
Well,
just start blazing
He probably has the
him.
ring on him when you kill him.
Yeah.
You just
Then
take
you
it off
just
his
smoke him
body.
and then you bring back, and it's probably the same as
Yeah.
if you convince him to give you the ring. That's probably ties into one line, and that moves that forward. So there's 3 or 4 different ways you could go with that, huh? Take
Yeah,
him
there's
back,
oh
take the ring and let him stay, take him back and get him killed,
mhm.
or kill him.
Yeah, there's plenty of options on how you can end that. And that pretty much wraps it up. Yeah, because you get the stuff you need. Because each of the houses, you're supposed to get something from them to help with the final quest where you go into the Citadel. So at this point, you get what you need from Victor. I've never quite paid attention to
Down towards the bottom of this list, it says that Barrick and Thane are both traitors, and their executions fall upon me. I will need to kill them both for House Vital.
Hmm.
So if you decide to take Varric out, according to your promise to the leader of the house, you got to kill Tane too.
Yeah.
What do you
Oh,
think about that?
apparently you can go to back to the Herald's Rest and talk to Tane, assuming you've. Well, it looks like he's always going to be there. So that'll be in. I didn't know you could do that. So I'll have to do that and check in on our next episode. Like, what's the conversation look like with Tane, depending on your choices?
Yeah, I didn't do that either.
Because I imagine you could throw Tane under the bus as well at some point. Or maybe it's just not really a dialogue option, but I'm sure you could probably kill them.
Well, then they're going to have to find somebody else to bring supplies in.
Oh, I mean, they've survived plenty, for centuries, a couple hundred years, right? So
Yeah, but they just had half their city blowed up.
yeah.
They're going to need a lot of supplies.
Or if a space trucker happens to be a little shady, Tane kind of has an accident, and you offer your services to become their new supplier.
Yeah, and Eldon Leroy has an idea.
Heck, that would be, that'd be cool as an option at the end of the quest line, where you're like, once you finish everything, you're like,
Set up an iron mine and a copper mine just outside of the city.
Just as like a side quest, like you can deliver supplies, like you go back to Dazra, and there's a quest board, and you're like, hey, go pick up these supplies at wherever, and you bring it back.
Yeah, deliver 5,000 iron to House Baroon.
Yep.
Oh, okay, because now I'm their supplier.
Exactly. That'd be a pretty cool thing for them to set up.
Yeah.
It still irks me that they force you to become a Varoon through the whole ritual thing, because I would have preferred not to have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, the difference is, because obviously there's the house that you get as a reward when you complete the quest. Like, that's not so much a spoiler. If you walked around the city, you come across the empty house, and you're like, okay, eventually this is going to be mine. But it would have been cool. It would have been cool if like the whole initiation to become Varoon is just a side quest you can do when you come across it, or you can do it way past finishing the quest. You decide to actually, I do want to become Varoon, and the reward for becoming Varoon is the house.
Right. And they can tie all that into that. There's a side quest. We didn't do any of the side quests. We're just doing the main quest with Shattered Space. But there's a side quest. Spoilers. 1, 2. There's a side quest where you go through and hold on. I'm sorry. You've not played this yet.
Well,
I'll leave that.
I've done a couple side quests.
I was gonna throw the entire community under the bus, and then I looked at you. I went, hold on, my partner's not played this. Maybe I'll wait.
Well, which side quest? Because I've played some of them.
One where you go to all these different places around Dazra.
Like a treasure hunt of sorts?
Kind of.
Okay, I haven't done that one.
Path of Enlightenment, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
But you go to 4 or 5 different temples.
Okay.
And that would be the perfect way to earn the house, to earn your place in their society, and without them having to force you to become.
Are you talking about when you go through the tunnel system?
No.
No. Oh, so it's a separate one. It's similar but different.
A whole side quest of you learning their past and their religion, and you've got to learn patience, and you've got to learn courage, and you've got to learn. It's totally different from the one in the tunnel system. This one is temples all over the outside area of the city.
Oh, I've come across some of those temples just in exploring, but there's an actual, and they always have like some little firefight at them too. Okay.
And and I can't remember what the reward is for that, but at the end of it, they could have said, you've earned, do you choose to be one of us? And if you say yes, then you earn the house. And if you say no, then maybe Tane earns the house.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, they'd set it up as something else, but yeah, we through this whole Shattered Space, we've had this same discussion like 4 times because it bothers both of us so much. Don't force me to change my religion.
Yep.
That is the kind of thing that, taken seriously enough, I just won't play your game.
Yep.
I won't play your DLC. I'm not going to change my religion. I just won't play that.
Yeah. The only reason it worked for me and I was able to justify in my head was because from the beginning of the game, I happened to choose Andreja as my romance option. Eventually, obviously, in my first universe, she died. And so the subsequent Andrejas I met, it was like this weird thing. But, trying to put myself in my character's shoes, literally, like, what decision would I make? If I went through multiple universes and eventually came across my wife now, and she's not the same, but she is. It's kind of like this weird thing, but I'd remarry my same wife now, But then I do wish there was
you're the
more.
same. And if you run into them,
Mhm.
they're not going to know you, but you're still going to have the same attractions.
You'd still have the same attractions, but the thing is, like, part of what made us fall in love was our struggle of developing that relationship. And like, would I make the same decisions? Like, I would already have all this pre-knowledge. So let's say I was in a multiverse where everything was truly exactly the same, but the only difference is my knowledge of that universe. Let's go back to December 2014 when I met my wife. Like, my knowledge is what's going to be changing the universe, because I'm going to remember certain things. I mean, about our relationship, about the world, So, like, I mean, heck, December 2014, I would buy a lot of Bitcoin, But then in the process of buying a lot of Bitcoin, would I ultimately do or be different in a way that I end up not being attracted to my wife, or she's not attracted to me, right?
Right.
So, like,
because you become insanely wealthy by selling off your Bitcoin 15 years later.
Yeah. Well, side note on that, I actually did the thing. I was like, okay, if I starting in January of 2015, ending December 2014, so 10 total, or December 2024, so last December. So 10 years, 120 months. If we were to have bought $100 of Bitcoin every month, we would have spent $12,000, but we'd be sitting on $747,000 right now.
Yeah, I got a young guy that works beside me he's about 30, and our annual benefits is coming up, and I'm like, dude, I don't care how much you put, but start a 401k, even if it's $20 a week, and you won't miss it. But if you start doing that now, by the time you retire, it's going to make a big difference.
Yep.
If you wait until you're 45 or 50 and start doing it, you don't have enough time to build that equity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because it's that curve.
That slow ramp up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show we could probably do.
Right.
Welcome to the life lessons and financial advice of Kenny and Jax.
Right. Welcome to the financial advice of a couple of broke dudes.
Yep.
Please, you don't have to take my advice. Just don't do it the way I did it.
Yeah, this is what I've done. Do the opposite. All right.
Okay.
So that pretty much wraps up that quest. And again, the next quest is the
Prisoners.
The exhuming the past. You were telling me it has something to do with a dam?
Yeah, there's a dam that irrigates the crops that they use for the groat farming.
Okay.
They grow a tobacco, or they grow something out there, and something to do with all of that. Yeah, you go in there. Yeah.
Yep. So we'll do that quest and the Scaled Citadel, which is the final quest, and then we'll have a general conversation about, the DLC as a whole. So that next episode will be a bit of a longer one, but it'll be fun.
We hated making us change our religion.
I know. Well, we'll have to see if we can get through that episode or that recording without bringing that up again, because I think we probably have brought it up literally every single episode.
We have beat that horse quite a bit.
Forced us convert. It's like, yeah. See, that's why I like playing on my my combat medic and my assassin character, because they don't have romance interests, so I don't feel as obligated. Plus, I mean, just doing side quests and stuff like that. So it's well, no, that's right. My assassin is going to go through all the faction quests, but not the main quest. Well, no, and eventually she will. Yeah, eventually, just because I'll have this fun little story arc with her. She's gonna kind of make all the selfish, bad, greedy choices as she goes through all the faction quests. She'll side up the Crimson Fleet. She'll keep the fact that what's the dude's name? The prisoner in Vanguard, Victus.
Yeah.
She'll keep it secret that he's alive because she wants to use him for missions.
Hmm.
She'll keep Ron Hope alive. And then I have no idea what the Ryujian quest line is. Of course, that'll be the finale for her. Then so after she does the Ryujian quest line as her kind of finale, she'll go through the main quest. Because by the time I get to that point, it'd probably be fun to go through it again. But she'll see the way on the Unity it shows you the consequences and all your actions, all those little stations you walk around. So she'll
Yeah.
see that and kind of have a bit of remorse, and she'll go into a new universe. And at that point, she won't go to another one, because she still has kind of that selfish streak. But she's gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna commit to making this universe a little bit better. So then
Right.
I'll at that point. I probably won't bother with the first three quests, but I might do the Ryujian quest line again, and with making a more positive, nice choice at the end, whatever that choice at the right with the Ryujian quest line is. So, so you have all right shipbuilding. You've got a what?
So I've got a ship that I've really liked. It's over time everything
Mm-hmm.
is kind of morphed as my ship's building skills, and I've got a new ship, or a ship that I've used with Eldon Leroy, my original character. The ship's called the Avant Garde.
Yep.
If you kept up with me in Discord or Facebook or with Kenny, you probably heard about this ship. So I've rebuilt that ship in the Jax Wiley. That's our um, Starfield report character, playthrough character. And then I've got a character named Thomas Paine, since I've got on PC and Steam, and I've rebuilt that ship in there. So I've rebuilt this ship 3 different times, 4 different times, because I built it once using a Watchtower ship,
Okay.
and that character couldn't fly the Watchtower ships. So it maintained that Watchtower bug saying, oh, well, this is a Watchtower ship. You don't know how to fly that yet because of the new technology. So I had to destroy that ship,
Gotcha.
go buy me a cheap little ship, and rebuild the Avant Garde a 4th time. So yeah, I've been playing with the building also.
Yeah, I haven't built really any new ships except well, I finally did build my big like freighter. Did I do a video for that on my channel yet? I might not have. I don't think I did because my character was too broke to put weapons on it, and I'm not doing any cheats to get extra money. So, but it's basically like you imagine like a cargo ship, right? So that was the original idea I had, like a cargo ship where you have all of your, you got the bridges in the back raised up, and you get all the cargo containers going out. So I kind of wanted to go with that kind of theme for my grand final space trucker class C ship, and then I ended up uh, I have containers along the edges along the top, but then on the bottom I actually have I think 6 of those huge yellow fuel tanks. So he kind of
Mm-hmm.
like he's like a
Big
multi
long egg-shaped one.
yeah. So he kind of has like a multi-purpose, like delivering cargo, but also like delivering fuel because it's like you got to figure you're out there in unsettled space. You need your the what is it, the helium to
H3.
yep.
Yeah, so you could be an H3 hauler also.
Yeah, okay. I have not done a video of that. The last ship build video I did was my space trucker day cab Mark II. Because and my tractor trailer I did a Mark II of that. I've got those videos recorded. I just have to edit them and actually put them up on the channel.
Yep. I'm going to do a little bit more practice with OBS and get a complete walkthrough of my avant-garde ship also.
Nice.
So that's something to look forward to. At least for me, I get to
Yeah.
play a little bit. New shiny toy. See how that works.
Yeah, and then my first mod when I start doing that is going to be my space trucker's 3 ships: the Class A, the day cab, the Class B, which is the the tractor trailer. I just call it Big Rig, even though there is a ship in the game you can find called the Big Rig, but it does not look like a big rig. And then
Okay.
and I was thinking my freighter would be like the Class C ship for that one, but I just visually, I like the barge more. Do you remember the barge that I made? Like had a very flat. The first floor was pretty flat with all Stroud Eklund, right? So it had, flat top, but it kind of has the curved cowlings flipped upside down, so it looks like a boat, and then coming up off, and it's 4 units wide. So the two middle are where you have a bunch of cargo containers, but then you have like halves coming up, and then the cargo containers technically connecting to that. And it was the Stroud Eklund cockpit, the vertical one you go up into, but the slightly smaller one. Whereas my freighter has the bigger one.
Kind of looks like an arrowhead.
No, it's the brick.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The very
Bigger.
square cockpit. You go up
Tiki.
into it. Yeah, the Kontiki.
Tiki.
Yeah, the
Kontiki.
the Kontiki 100 through 400 is the smaller square one that
Yeah.
is one hab wide, and then the 500 600 is the one that's the even bigger.
Right.
Which on my freighter, I did this thing where I ended up glitching some structural pieces into it on the sides, just to help the look a little more blended together. And when you're inside the cockpit, the way those pieces glitch into it, it doesn't look out of the ordinary. Just the way they're lined up, the way. And now obviously you walk up to it and you clip right through it, and you can see the monitors and stuff on the wall. But when you're standing, say, up at the front, the captain's seat, and you look to those side walls, you just see smooth wall. It doesn't look out of place at all, and it like
Right.
follows the contouring of the cockpit. So, but yeah, so the barge has the smaller Kontiki cockpit, and then crew of 8, Class C. Yeah, I just love the look of that ship. So that might be the Class C. So when I make this mod, it would basically be those three: the Class A, the B, and the C, and just put that up there. That'll be my first mod, and just go somewhere, and I don't know how. You go find a slate or something, or a computer console to pick the ships up or something like that. Just get my feet wet with the whole modding thing, because I do have a much more advanced mod that I want to do later, but I can't talk about it. Because if I tell somebody, I'd have to kill them. So
what you're saying is I need to keep an eye over my shoulder, huh?
Yep.
We keep our secrets close to.
But yeah, you know all about that mod since we talk all the time. All right. Well, that wraps up this episode. Oh my god.
I swallowed a fly yesterday. Oh, well, didn't actually swallow it. I had my coffee mug on my toolbox.
Yeah.
And I was off working on something. I came back to get a swig of coffee and took a swig, and I'm like, I think I got some coffee grounds in my coffee. It's a fly.
That's disgusting.
I just the day before was teasing my wife about, I knew an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why. And then the very next day, this happens. So, yeah, I told her about it, and she was all, whoop. And I was like, well, at least I didn't crunch down on it. And it,
yeah, my wife
so that happened.
Spent time in Ecuador and other places in South America, Chile, Dominican Republic. They eat like some weird stuff down there.
When you got bugs the size of shrimp, I guess you could eat them.
Yeah, fry them up.
Fry them up. Yep.
Yep.
A little teriyaki sauce.
Yeah.
Yummy.
And I've got a friend who's a missionary in Cambodia, and that's pretty wild. Some wild stuff they eat out there. Chocolate covered bugs and like, ugh. Alrighty, well, that wraps up this episode of the Starfield Report podcast. I am glad to be back. And now that I've actually done a recording, hopefully that'll help me find the time to actually do my work, do my homework, and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But
yeah. So our next episode, December 6th is when we'll record. So if you guys have any feedback, especially just kind of anything about the end of the Shattered Space DLC, if you have any feedback on that, send that into starfieldreport@gmail.com. And we'll go over that feedback. So any of your thoughts regarding just the DLC as a whole, go ahead and send that in. We'll discuss that. And that'll probably be our last recording for the year, because after that we're heading into the holiday season. But we do want to, at the beginning of the year, so in January, we want to do like a look back on 2025 and our hopes for 2026. So New content. Come on, Bethesda.
Jeez.
So, because there might be you were saying that there might be like a shadow drop of content. Like Bethesda might drop the DLC right before Christmas, kind of unannounced. So
there's rumblings that maybe with the next couple of weeks something comes out.
Yeah.
Because of past experience says that what's going on with Steam on the back end with the updates of the game, past experience says it's a possible DLC drop. So we'll see. Nothing's been said.
Yep.
I would have guessed next year because there's no lead up for sales.
Oh, well, we will find out. Alrighty, folks, well, take care. Jax, any last words?
Okay, guys, be safe, drive fast, and take lots of chances.
We will see you in the Starfield.
Now that was some fine work under pressure.
Get out of here, Dusty. You're on to bigger things.